this is John Colo at DiscountJuicers.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you, and in this episode, actually, I'll be comparing, in one way or another, 5 different style juicers. I have all the major style juicer types to show you guys today, except for one, which is basically the grinder or triturating and pressing style juicer, such as the pure juicer that we sell at Discount Juicers. Other people may be familiar with the Norwalk. Now the Pure is actually an improved Norwalk, and actually my last episode, I was doing temperature testing of actually the juice made in the Green Star Pro and the Pure juicer for how much each temperature of the juice was created, how much it heated up. And actually this juicer, the Green Star Pro, made a cooler juice than even the 2-stage grinding and pressing juicer by maybe 1.5, 2 degrees, maybe 1 degree, kind of depends. So I thought in this episode, actually, we're going to go ahead and do a test, and I got my infrared thermometer here, and we're going to test 5 juicers. Now I did do a test maybe like, I don't know, 5 years ago or something, testing like 2 juicers and a heat test, but now we're doing a more inclusive test with 5 different juicers so you guys can see which of these juicers heat the juice the most, right? Now before we get into what juicer heats the juice the most, right, there's many factors that you guys should consider when buying a juicer. Heating the juice may be one of them. For me, that's like really low on my list. More important to me is how hard is it to clean, because I'm lazy, I'm lazy. And if the machine's too hard to clean, I'm simply just not going to juice. So I want you guys to pick the juicer that will be right for you, whether that's one that's easy to clean. And actually this one right here in the middle takes the cake. I do have a video on easiest juice in the world to clean. It's this juicer, 80 seconds to clean. Some of you guys may value more a juicer that gets the most nutrition out. And in my opinion, based on the studies I've seen, the Green Star Pro, that guy right here, will basically get the highest nutrition and make the highest yield when juicing root vegetables such as carrots and celery. That's a stem vegetable, as well as other leafy greens at the same time. Now if you want a fast juicer, you're going to want to get this one, because this one, in speed-wise, blows away all these other juicers on the table. This juice will make a glass of juice in 30 seconds flat. No other juicer could do that. This is the Breville Juice Fountain Elite, or any other centrifugal ejection style machine. These are the fastest. Of course, one of the cons of this style machine is that it does tend to aerate the juice, and unfortunately, even in 2018, where the internet is out there and people should have the truth, there's misinformation on many juicer websites. Many juicer websites say the centrifugal ejection juicer heats your juice, and that's why it's no good. So, that, in my opinion, is completely false. As you guys will see in the test, the centrifugal ejection, based on my testing in the past, does not heat the juice up any more than any of these other juicers. And the second thing is, yes, it does make a lower quality juice, but not because of the heat. In my opinion, it's because of the aeration that occurs, because this is running at a high speed, flinging the juice particles out of a screen, and then it comes out of the spout with pretty good force, and it actually blows over the cup in many instances. That's why I believe this one is not so good, and there are scientific studies that I have covered in previous episodes to prove it, where they basically took a high-speed juicer such as this and a vertical slow juicer such as the one over here on the end, and they basically juiced broccoli, and they found that the juicer, the vertical auger juicer, made more basically antioxidants in the juice, and when they took that juice and put it in a petri dish with active live cancer cells, the slow juice had a much greater rate of cancer inhibition. So if nutrition is your main goal, then you want to focus on one of these style machines, because these are considered slow juicers, and these will basically maximize the nutrition, in my opinion, and based on some of the research I've seen. Now, these style machines are more high-speed juicers. This one runs at 10,000 RPMs. This one runs at like 3,450 RPMs. But these guys, like this one runs at like 80 RPMs. This one's at like at 125 or something. And this one's about 43 RPM, so significantly slower. Also, the noise factor may be important for some of you guys. Of course, the higher the speed the juicer, the louder it's going to be. People have described this one as an airplane taking off in their kitchen. So, you know, many different... Oh, and then another big factor that you guys should take into consideration when buying a juicer is what are you going to juice, right? You got to make sure that the juicer you're getting is going to juice the produce you want to juice the most, the best. So, for example, if you're on medical medium celery juice, right, you do not want to get the Champion. The Champion, if you put whole stalks of celery in there, the strings will get wrapped around the blade. In addition, because of this, the way this machine works, it'll basically oxidize some of the celery juice before you even get to drink it. And celery juice already can taste kind of strong, and once it's oxidized, it even tastes worse. Actually, if you are looking to juice celery, check the link down below for a video I made for best juicer for medical medium celery juice, because I already made a video on that one. You know, let me run down these guys real quick, the names of them, and actually some of the produce items that these guys are best for, alright? So first over on this side we have the Champion juicer. This is like one of the original juicers. This is probably the only juicer that's still made in the USA today, in Lodi, California. So if you need to get a juicer made in the USA, the Champion is it. That being said, this design is out of the 1950s, and pretty much the design hasn't changed much on the original Champion, which is a good and a bad thing. I mean, these guys are built like tanks. They're probably going to outlast any of these other juicers on the table that are made out of more plastic. This is solid metal. Another thing that's negative about this is that because it's painted, it does tend to chip. And it's because it's metal, you knock it into things and into your wall, it could dent your wall. And these guys are plastic, so they're, you know, not quite going to be damaged as much or give damage or get damaged. Plus, this guy tends to be pretty heavy. But anyways, this guy basically has a high-speed grating disc in there, or an auger with teeth. And so the Champion is a masticating juicer because it literally juices by chewing up the fibers and basically ejecting out the pulp out of the front, and the juice comes out the bottom of the machine. So this is the true masticating machine. This style machine, I mean, back in the 1950s, it was definitely state of the art. But since then, newer style juicers have come out, and in my opinion, are basically better. I mean, who drives a 1950s car anymore, you know? That being said, I do own this Champion. I do keep it. I'm not getting rid of it anytime soon because it is the best machine, in my opinion, for making banana ice cream, or basically putting frozen bananas through there and it turns it into ice cream. Basically, it does that the best because when it is juicing, or when you are processing your bananas, it actually fluffs it up. It adds some air into the juice, or, well, into the bananas, so it makes it nice and fluffy, really nice consistency. And the juicers over on this side actually kind of make it more hard-packed, so it's not quite as fun to eat. That being said, your banana ice cream does melt more, and because it does add air into the banana ice cream, it also adds air into the juice, which causes some oxidative damage, in my opinion. Okay? And so if you want a machine to make banana ice cream, this is the one I'd recommend, but I don't like it for juicing. So next we got the Breville Juice Fountain Elite. This is a centrifugal ejection style machine. This style machine maybe came out in the, I don't know, maybe was patented in the 1940s, according to some patents. Maybe came out, you know, 1950s, 1960s. This guy basically has a grating disc, much like if you're grating carrots for a salad. It basically has a grating disc that spins them out at high speed, literally micro shreds, and then flings out the pulp out of the back, and the juice comes through the little holes in the screen and comes out the front. So this style machine is actually really fast, as I mentioned before. It's also fairly efficient on hard vegetables. So think carrots and celery. You know, cucumbers tend to work pretty good, but once you start getting into some softer fruits, it tends to spit out big chunks of fruits whole, and they don't get juice, and your pulp can be quite wet, depending on what you're juicing. In addition, this machine is not the style machine you want to get if you want to juice a lot of leafy greens, because it really doesn't make a good yield. In addition, as I mentioned before, this machine does tend to oxidize the juice, so if you're looking for the best healing capabilities of your juice, this is not the machine for you. That being said, you know, I think buying any juicer and juicing, you know, even if it is a high-speed machine, is better than not doing it at all. But if you're going to take the time to juice, hey, why don't you guys take some extra time and get one of the juicers on this side and, you know, have the maximum amount of nutrition for you guys. So the next middle guy is the easiest juicer in the world to clean. This is the Omega NC900 SS. That stands for stainless steel because of the nice stainless steel body here. This is a horizontal single auger style machine. These were maybe invented around the 1990s. I like this because it's a low speed, and unlike the champion here, which is a masticating juicer. Some people may call the slow juicer, such as these guys over here, masticating, but I don't really call them masticating because this is actually literally grinding and chewing. This kind of just works by like crushing and squeezing, kind of more so in my opinion. So I would consider these guys, you know, slow juicers. You might also want to call them cold press because literally they're crushing and literally pressing or squeezing out the juice. So basically this one, the produce goes into an auger. The auger chunks off pieces. The space of the auger as it rotates gets smaller and smaller. The juice is squeezed and ground up, and then the juice is squeezed through a screen. The pulp comes out the front and the juice comes out the bottom. So this machine is the best at juicing things like sprouts and wheatgrass and leafy greens. So if you're going to make juices that are high, have a high percentage of those items, then this is definitely the machine for you. Other machines, like on this side, may also juice the leafy greens fairly well, but if you don't juice a good quantity of other produce with them, it may make excessive foam. Even this machine, when juicing straight greens, will produce some foam, but it will produce less foam than these two guys over here when doing them straight. That being said, this machine is not the best machine if you want to juice a lot of straight fruits. If you do mix a fruit and like a hard vegetable, it's going to do great. But straight fruits are not too good. And the other thing I personally don't like about this machine is that everything you put into the machine, you have to actually put it in and then push the pusher and use the pusher to push each item through. This may take a little bit more time to juice, you know, in length of time to juice, but of course your cleaning time will be shorter. Next, over here we have the Green Star Pro. This is actually the only commercial certified machine that I'm sharing with you guys today. It's a light-duty commercial machine that you could also buy for your home. It also has a 15-year warranty, which is really nice. I like the twin gear machines because it produces the highest yield and highest quality juice when you're juicing things like hard vegetables or root vegetables, carrots, beets, celery. And also it will handle leafy greens quite well. You could juice leafy greens straight, of course, but if you do that, it may tend to foam a lot. So if you put some leafy greens in with some celery, leafy green celery, leafy green celery, or leafy greens carrot, leafy greens carrot, leafy greens carrot. Just alternate, you know, leafy greens with some root vegetables. It's going to work great. In addition, because it is a slow juicer, much like this guy here, it doesn't tend to juice fruits too well. I will put a link down below to a video where I go into how this guy juices fruits without the fruit attachment and how it can actually work a little bit better. So yeah, that's this guy. And then over to the last one, this is actually my favorite juicer, I gotta admit it. This is the Omega VSJ843. This is a vertical single auger style juicer. Oh, and yeah, this guy came out in the 1990s, and then actually this guy came out in the 2000s. So this is like the newest innovation. It's kind of like the Tesla is like the new electric car, and they've had Toyotas forever. This is kind of like the new style, and so it kind of you know, basically blends you know, the horizontal single auger running horizontally with the centrifugal ejection because it runs vertically. So it's kind of like a mesh of these two, but you're going to get the benefits of this guy with the smaller footprint of this guy, and it's a little bit quicker than this guy when using it because basically this style machine will generally auto feed, so you don't actually have to take the time to push in each produce item, which actually I hate pushing produce into juicers. I have much better things to do in my life. And then also the other reason why I like this guy is it takes 3 minutes to clean. So this guy, unlike some of the other machines on the table here, will basically juice pretty much most items fairly well. It juices fruits, probably the best out of all these juicers. So if you want to juice straight fruits, now if you do juice straight fruits, you should select hard and firm fruits. Don't select soft and mealy fruits. They're not going to juice well. Technically, even a cucumber is a fruit, so select nice, hard, and firm cucumbers. They're going to juice better, and the VSJ of all the juicers that I'm showing with you guys today will juice fruits the best. In addition, this will also juice the root vegetables fairly well. It's not going to get as high of a yield as, say, the Breville or the Green Star Pro, but it does handle them without any issue. In addition, this can also handle leafy greens, and I was quite surprised when I compared this guy and this guy head-to-head doing leafy greens, and actually this guy, I think, won by a really small margin, but this guy can tend to clog a lot if you're not paying attention and if you're not following my instructions. So I'll put a link down below. If you're going to get a vertical juicer, make sure you check the link in the description below on Juice Like a Pro and any vertical slow juicer. You will want to watch that video to find out my specific techniques so that you have a beautiful time with the VSJ. So yeah, I like it because it's the most versatile, and also it has a 15-year long warranty. Also, it takes less counter space than actually pretty much any of these other guys, including the Breville, actually, because the Breville has this big catch cup, and this guy is a little bit more smaller and self-contained if it's going to be sitting on your counter. So yeah, that's pretty much the run-through on the machines. I didn't want to make this video too long. I have plenty of other videos comparing these guys side to side, comparing this one to this one, this one to this one, this one to this one, all this kind of stuff. I just want to get into actually juicing of the carrots and checking their temperature for you guys. And at the same time, we'll kind of also do a little bit of yield testing to show you guys how much each of these juicers produces. Alright, so now we're back and we're set up and ready to juice in all the juicers. And I got basically 1 pound of organic carrots washed and fresh from the fridge. So 1 pound here, 2 pounds, 3 pounds, 4 pounds, 5 pounds total carrots in this juice test today. So first we're going to go ahead and take my infrared meter and measure. So these carrots are currently measuring 49.5, 48.5, 48, 47. Let's see this guy here. 48, 46, 45. So anyways, I mean, all these carrots were in the same fridge. They should be about the same approximate temperature. You know, maybe 49 degrees, we could say. So I guess without further ado, we're just going to go ahead and juice in each juicer. I'll probably do it in real time so you guys can see the process and what's happening. We'll start on this side, and then we're going to work our way that direction. Alright, so first we will juice in the Champion juicer. Turn this baby on, and just feed the produce in. Alright, so we're just about done juicing in the Champion. Turn that off. Made a bunch of foam there. And now we're just going to go ahead and we're going to measure the juice right after it came out. And it looks like we're at 62 degrees, pretty much straight up on there. So we're just going to go ahead and pour this juice in the cup that the carrots originally came in there. Oops. So we could actually kind of compare the level in the cup that each juicer made. And as you guys can see, there's a fair bit amount of foam made with the Champion right there. Alright. So next we're going to go ahead and use the Breville. This guy will go extremely fast. Alright, that was quick, huh? Tip this guy up, maybe get a little bit more juice out. We're going to go ahead and measure the temperature of this juice here. This is measuring 54.5 degrees. Alright, so let's go ahead and pour this juice into the cup. Let's take a look between the Champion and the Breville. Ooh. Well, that's kind of pretty tough to call. Alright, next we're going to go ahead and do the Omega NC900. Make sure we have a pulp catch bin here. Alright, so that's pretty much it. Juicing in the Omega NC900. Pretty simple, pretty easy. We did have our outlet cap here set to 5 to keep the most back pressure on the juice, or on the pulp. We're going to turn that off, and we're going to go ahead and get this juice out. And we're going to go ahead and measure the temperature on this guy. This guy is reading 49.5 degrees, okay? 49.5 in the Omega NC900. We're going to go ahead and pour this guy off. Alright, that looks like it made actually a little bit less than some of the machines. And that's some other common misinformation out there, you know. Some people will say the slow juicers always make more juice than some of the high-speed ones. That is actually may or may not be true depending on what you're juicing. In the case of carrots, generally the high-speed machine is going to get a fairly good yield compared to most other machines. Alright, next we're going to go ahead and juice in the Green Star Pro. Got our collection cup underneath there. Turn this on, and 1 carrot at a time, just push it in. Now this tends to take the most downward strength of any of the juicers. So if you have like arthritis, you're kind of old and you can't like really give some downward pressure, then you might want to stand on some kind of stool to help you kind of give you guys some leverage. But I mean, I can push this carrot in with like 1 finger, and I'm, you know, pushing really pretty hard there. Yeah, normally I just use 1 hand, push it down, no big deal. Uh-oh, I'm dripping. Oh man, I lost a lot of juice. So we won't be able to do an accurate yield test today. But we'll still be able to get the temperature. Alright, so that's pretty much it for the Green Star Pro juicer. And, oh well, I kind of missed the collection cup there. You can see I kind of did a party foul. So a lot of juice is on the table and not in the cup, but we can still test the temperature. The yield will not be accurate. Temperature on this juice is actually 55.5 degrees. So that's a little bit warmer going through the processing. And pour this off into the cup. Now this is going to be low because of the fact that a lot of the juice ended up on the table. Okay, finally we're going to go ahead and switch over to the VSJ 843. Alright, finally we're going to go ahead and juice in the VSJ 843 juicer. And the thing I like about this machine is that you don't have to push the produce in, you just literally drop the carrot in. It basically will chunk off 1 piece at a time. The most important thing to remember is you don't want to just put, you know, 1 carrot and the next and the next and the next. You want to let the machine work through its first carrot before putting in the second one. Alright, so that was the last carrot in the Omega VSJ843. Now we're going to go ahead and check the temperature on the juice there. This juice is reading 56.5. Now I do want to let you guys be aware that we pulled out the carrots out of the fridge at the same time. So some of them might have been heating up here as they were sitting, waiting to get juiced, and that may have affected the temperature. I probably should have checked the carrots like before it went into the juicer and then after to actually find the specific difference, but I didn't do that. So anyways, let's go ahead and pour the juice from the VSJ into the cup. Alright, so what I want to do next for you guys is actually we're going to go ahead and line up these glasses of carrot juice so you guys can see kind of which one kind of made more yield or thereabouts. Alright, let's go ahead and compare the yield, and actually I'm quite surprised at the yields. So over here it looks like the Champion technically made a little bit more than the Breville, although it did also make a lot more foam. I will remind you that the Champion did heat the juice the most, actually. The Breville actually made the probably second most amount of foam and the second most amount of juice. So you guys can see the yield on those guys are pretty good. And then if you look over here to the next one, the NC900, actually the yield is definitely less. The slow juicers don't tend to juice carrots all too well except for the twin gear. So this NC900 actually made less yield on the carrots, although it would make more on greens. And then next, actually the Green Star Pro is right here, but this yield, do not pay attention to it. It is not accurate because I spilt a lot of juice and it did make it in the cup. But actually that also has fairly low foam compared to some of the other machines over there. And then finally the Omega VSJ843, which we will pull out here and compare that next to the NC900. Looks like the NC900 made a little bit more juice technically than the VSJ843. Also, there is a little bit of foam, but not too much. So in general, if I had to line these up appropriately, let's see here, it would probably be something like this. It'd be the Champion. It would probably make the most in this case, and this is unstrained juice. The Breville, the Green Star Pro could make more than the Breville potentially. It just depends on what's being juiced. And two auger juicers, being the horizontal auger or the vertical auger, will make the least amount of juice when juicing carrot. Alright, so what did we learn today? Well, number one, you learned how much each juicer made unstrained, so that's very important. You know, if I should strain the juice, if one juicer put more pulp in the juice than the others, then that would artificially inflate how much each juicer made. The other thing we learned is that some juicers will actually heat the juice, and of all the juicers here, the Champion takes the cake. It actually heated the juice the most. This doesn't surprise me because it's the way the machine is designed to basically grind and chew. It created more friction, which in turn created more heat. And basically it made approximately 13 degrees warmer than the original starting produce, right? The Breville here made about 5.5 degrees warmer. The NC900 was actually quite impressive at only literally a half a degree warmer. The Green Star Pro was 6.5 degrees warmer, and the VSJ843 was 7.5 degrees warmer. Now I do want to say that these last two machines, the produce has been sitting out a while, so that may have affected, it may have gotten a few degrees warmer, so then the difference would not be as much. That being said, you know, I will say straight up, I personally don't think even a 13-degree difference is going to make a difference in the quality of the juice, right? Enzymes start to degrade at around 100 or more degrees. So still, starting with cold produce out of the fridge, none of these juices exceeded anywhere near 100 degrees. That being said, what's more important than just the heat that's being generated is the oxygen being bombarded into the cells once the cell walls are broken into, and the nutrients, and oxidizing them. So, you know, in the marketing materials of Champion back in the old days, they said juice out of a Champion is a darker color, and this is because it's more nutritious. And that's what they said. in my opinion, you know, the darker colors because it's running around in there and it's grinding up and it's basically being injected with oxygen. And that's exactly why I like the banana ice cream out of the Champion. It's oxidizing it more. In addition, because of the high-speed centrifugal ejection machine, it basically blows all the pulp out the back and flings the pulp through the screen at high speed. That also injects some oxygen in the juice, which in my opinion, and has been shown in scientific studies to actually have less antioxidants in the juice when testing. And so that's why I prefer the slow juicers, you know, and especially I'm super surprised the NC900, and if you want to buy any of these juicers, the links are down below in the description, did so well with only heating it 0.5% or half a degree, and you know, performed quite well. In addition, these machines also will, you know, didn't tend to heat the juice as much as the Champion did. So yeah, that's pretty much it. But the other thing is these machines, as you guys can see, produce less foam when juicing, which is one of the factors of the oxidation. Of course, the oxidation damage occurs even if the machine doesn't create foam. It's still oxidizing the juice as it is being created. So that's pretty much it for this episode. If you guys enjoyed this episode, I would encourage you guys to support me in my work. I'm the only guy on YouTube that I know that has over 500 videos on juicers. I test all the major brands juicers, make videos for you guys, and basically share with you guys my results even when I spill. So don't use this as a yield test for the Green Star Pro. This one would have made the most yield on carrots between all the slow juicers here. And so yeah, so if you guys enjoyed this episode, I would encourage you guys to support me in my work by making your purchase at discountjuicers.com. This allows me literally to put carrots on my table by the celery that I've been juicing every morning on the medical medium celery juice protocol that I've been doing for about the last 30 days. Also allows me to pay my light bill, so I appreciate that so much. If you buy from any other place, I will not get the credit, and I may no longer be able to produce these videos, which I enjoy making for you guys, number one. And number two, I just want the truth to be out there so that you guys know the truth about juicers, or what I believe the truth to be, based on over 20 years of now selling juicers and actually juicing on a regular basis myself, okay? And so if you feel like John, I'd love to buy from you, man, but I got to save every last penny. It's $5 cheaper on another website. You know, I would encourage you guys to spend $5 more to buy it from me. But if you do need to save that $5 so that you know you get the best deal, please let me know. Shoot me an email. Contact is in the description down below. Shoot me an email, say, hey John, I found the juicer for a lower price at blah 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 for this price. As long as they're an authorized dealer with the unit in stock, and we have the unit in stock, I'd be glad to match their total delivered price for you, so you guys could still save some money and support me so I could still stay in business and continue to make all my educational videos on YouTube. So I want to thank you guys in advance for those of you guys that will purchase from me, and I want to thank you guys for those of you guys that have purchased from me in the past. It is much appreciated. Anyways, if you guys like this format, like testing the temperatures of the juices, hey, please be sure to give me a thumbs up. That'll encourage me to make more videos like this in the future, and hopefully I won't be spilling my valuable juice. Also, be sure to click that subscribe button right down below, and make sure you press the little bell next to it so you get notification of my new and upcoming videos that I'm coming out every 5 to 7 days. You never know where I'll show up or what you'll be learning on my YouTube channel. Finally, be sure to check my past episodes. My past episodes are a wealth of knowledge. Over 500 episodes at this time on this YouTube channel dedicated to teaching you guys about the juicers, blenders, dehydrators, and soon freeze dryers, as well as vacuum blenders that allow you to increase the amount of fruits and vegetables you get into your life, because they are simply the healthiest foods on the planet, and that's why I like the juicers so much. Alright, so with that, my name is John Kohler with DiscountJuicers.com. Be sure to visit DiscountJuicers.com/YouTube for special promotional offers for our YouTube visitors.